Hello, everybody, and all my booktubing friends and soon-to-be booktubers. If you're not part of the booktubing community, come on board, become a part. And today I'm doing my wrap-up, what I read for March. I will be putting up a video later of my TBR, which means to be read, for all of you that are considering becoming a booktuber as well. And I'll put that up later, what I'll be reading for April. So this is what I read in March. Moonlight Becomes You by Mary Higgins Clark. This was a fun mystery. I like Mary Higgins Clark. Basically, Maggie was invited to see her stepmother, and who she had not seen for years and years and years, and there was all kinds of mystery people that could have been the murderer around this one. You know, people started to die, older people in a nursing home. It was pretty exciting. It kind of was something that kept you on the edge of your seat. You had to kind of figure out who did it. And I loved it because you really couldn't figure out who did it until the end. And everybody almost became a suspect. And that's what I liked about this one. So that is Moonlight Becomes You. The next book I'm going to share to you is another one by Mary Higgins Clark. It's called I'll Walk Alone. I'm just going to jog my memory for a second. Look in the front. Okay. This one here, I had to remember the name of the girl. Zan is her name. And she looks like she kidnapped her own son, but she didn't. And there was a look-alike that kidnapped her son. So this story goes all around how everybody thinks she's guilty, that she, kidnapped her son. They think she might have murdered her son. There was a lot of people involved. Again, you had to kind of figure out who did it. A lot of fun to read. Mary Higgins Clark, I'll Walk Alone. Okay. This is a cozy mystery. Susan Wiggin Albert. Set in the 1930s. This is the Darling Delilah's and the 11 O'Clock Lady. I enjoyed this. Had a lot of history in it, which one of my favorite things when I read a book is if there's history and that type of thing, or maybe they have, like, they'll be describing an area like maybe Hawaii or something where they live, but this had a lot of history, and it was interesting to see the thoughts on different presidents and things that were going on. This was set during the Depression. A very enjoyable read. I would strongly recommend Susan Wiggins Albert. This one here, Donna Andrews, The Good, the Bad, and the Emus. Now, I usually love Donna Andrews, but this book just didn't do it for me this time. Basically, there were some emus missing, or like they were set loose. Some conservationists were trying to round them up. There was a murder, as always, and the things that surround that, but I found myself speed reading some of this just to get through it. It just wasn't for me. And or you haven't been watching me do my booktubes, I used to do a lot of reviews for like authors and things like that. And since I'm retired, I'm basically just doing reviews that I enjoy, picking out the books I want from the library and not necessarily doing reviews for requests and things. I mean, I'm enjoying some good, solid, fun reads. So I think you'll enjoy these books, the ones I'm recommending. Now, this one, too, is by Donna Andrews, and I absolutely love this one. This one was really cool. I was glued to it. I started reading it, and I had to finish it in, like, one night, as I started reading it, and I love the story. And basically, it's about interior design. All these designers are working on rooms for this, what is it, like one of these showcase homes, and one of them gets murdered. And so the background behind it, it's a lot of fun. It was a fast mover. I really enjoyed it. And it was another one like, who did it? And so this one was a lot of fun to read. I love cozy mysteries. They're a lot of fun. They're very relaxing. There's never anything really bad or horror in it. I do not like horror books, so I usually read like nice, happy, fun-paced mysteries. Here's another author that I read, Fern Michaels' Forget Me Not. This is kind of a weird book, and I usually like Fern Michaels. It was kind of like, how do I put it, maybe out there for me. And I guess that's pretty much all I'll say. I'm just going to look in the cover just to see if I can find the name of the girl that maybe started or was in the beginning. I can't say her name. Sometime. Oh, yeah, Lucy. Okay, but anyway, it was a little bit out there. She was a comic strip writer or, drawer, and it was just different. And I don't know if I guess you would have to try it as well as the Emu one by Donna Andrews. The reason I say that is sometimes you might read a book and for some reason it just doesn't hit you, and you might read it a year later and it might be like, oh, that was awesome, And sometimes too, movies, and I don't think there's a movie for this one. I know that Mary Higgins Clark has movies, but sometimes the movies portray them a lot different. I'm not going to do a review on this, but I had read The Zookeeper's Wife, and the movie was so different than the book. So different. And I ended up sending that book to my sister. That was a review. I did like a request book review. But I love that book, The Zookeeper's Wife, if you've never seen that. But it's so different than the movie. So if you saw the movie, you're going to want to read the book. And the book was a lot better. All right. My last book in the thing was The Shadow of Your Smile. And this one involved, like, doctor. And she was going to testify about a miraculous cure for a kid, and it was a really good book, but it was kind of like it had that faith thing, like kind of showed her how miracles can happen, but it was a whodunit as well, and you had to kind of figure out who was the person that did it.
I did it.
Clay said, it's a murder mystery, love. Oh, he's doing the chickens.
You don't know who I killed, that's all.
Yeah, chickens. He's so funny. Well, that's for food. But anyway, this one was pretty good. It had like a lot of doctors and things like that in this. And it was a good story. I really enjoyed it. I loved it. And all of her books are probably about 400 pages, which I also like that. So it usually takes me about a day to read a book, but if I'm busy and stuff, it might take 2 or 3 days. But sometimes after I read something, I have to go back, especially since I read so much, and I have to go back and look who the authors are, or not the authors, the characters are, just to jog my memory. What pie? What pie, love?
The cheesecake.
Did I try it? I'm not talking on the phone. I'm doing a video on the books I read.
I thought you were talking to Patty.
No, I'm not. He thought I was talking to my sister on the phone because I talk to my prayer partner every day. Actually, we're going to talk tomorrow. She's out with her husband today. So, see, he thought I was talking on the phone. Because my sister and I, which is my prayer partner, we both love to read. And we love a lot of the same things. So, I pray with a lot of my sisters and brothers and things like that, too. So, and my son and my husband and all that. So, but anyway, these are the books I read. But this one was really good. Like I said, it was a good one as well. So, like, subscribe. Let me know what you're reading. And remember, big or small, you too can have backyard fun.